advice.
I do.
Excellent.
Right.
We like advice.
So, if like I want to preface this by saying if I sound mean, I do not intend to at all. These are just like my observations. Okay. So I thought you guys did really well. Like the most important thing when you're looking at the sheet is to look at where you're going to get points from. So like this one, it said 20 points, 60 points maximum for every ping pong ball that lands inside the circle. So there you know that's. Do you guys know what the word objective means? Okay, well what that means is there's like something certain that they're going to judge you on.
Measurable.
Yeah, it's measurable. When it comes to like teamwork or the creativity of your transport device, that's the judge's opinion of how well you did. Whereas something like that, where it's certain points, like you know you can get those no matter what. So when you're looking at the sheet, make sure you know where the certain points are, because you can make sure you get those. And you guys did a really good job of it. You know, just going along the scoring, fairly creative device. Don't expect that you're going to get a really high score for creativity like anywhere along the board, because judges are always going to like. You're never going to get a 20 out of 20 there, no matter what you do, because the judges don't know who might come along after you. So let's say that you're the second team to go of the day. They're not going to give you a 20 because there might be someone coming along later on. So they're always going to judge you kind of hard for that. And it's kind of hard with the materials you had. It's kind of hard to make something that's really creative here. But the fact that it worked makes it more creative. So you're probably going to score fairly well for that. But don't like be upset if your score is not perfect there. But then one thing I noticed was with the teamwork. You guys seem to work fairly well together. You all seem to like each other. But there's a lot of talking over each other. And that's something that really takes the teamwork scores down. Obviously, it's not going to be something like you're only going to have one person talking all the time. Of course, there'll be times when 2 or 3 people are talking at the same time. But it seemed like there were moments where you were all kind of competing for your idea to win out. And that's something you want to be really careful of, because that's something that the appraisers are going to watch for really closely. Another thing I noticed was that there were a few ideas where you guys said no. Never, ever, 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 ever say no. Say like any other words that aren't cuss words, but never, ever, 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 ever say no. As soon as the judges hear no, one sec. As soon as the judges say no, hear you say no, a teamwork score that might be like a 17 or an 18 goes down to an 11 or a 12. So that's the if you say it, like cover up your mouth. You never say that word. Yeah, Brendan, what's up?
So are you comparing notes? Like, so you mean?
And if somebody suggests an idea and somebody replies no, we shouldn't do that.
So
Like,
basically, you could say.
Maybe we should try something different, or yes and. Saying yes and, that's gold in terms of teamwork points. You want to be building off each other's ideas and make it sound like you're building off each other's ideas and not like you're shooting down an idea.
You know, one of the things that the leader of DI for Lincoln said at the thing on Monday was, if somebody comes up with an idea, even if you don't necessarily think it is the best idea, sometimes it's best just to go with it.
Yeah.
Because you will get more points, even not succeeding completely, than you will if you're battling each other like you guys tend
Absolutely.
to.
And you'll have more time, even if the idea
And
is
you'll
not good,
have
to
more
come up with
time.
the solution or to do the.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I
Or to
still
build on it.
Yeah, what's up?
Have you, instead of saying no, have you ever come up with a secret word that we know and like,
I don't think we ever came up with a secret word. It might have been waffle one year. I think waffle might have been the secret word like one year when I was in elementary school. But normally we just go with like saying something like yes and, or maybe we could, or we could do this, because that like it does the same thing but without saying no. Yeah, what's up?
you could say it backwards.
On.
If
But
you shake
if
your head while you
if
do
you
it,
say or, like he just said, he say or we could do
maybe we could do, then you're providing, do you remember a couple weeks ago when Lily kept saying, don't pretend there's a monster under the bed, that's not very creative. And I kept saying to Lily, suggest something else. Suggest something, because if you say, or we could do this, then you're just adding more ideas, and it's the brainstorming process, and you're going to keep going and find a good idea that way.
And where, like, while saying a word like no, that detracts from your, that takes away from your teamwork score. If you're saying something like yes and or we could do this, that like makes your teamwork score be better. Yeah.
Well, wouldn't you have to have an idea when you say that, because it wouldn't really make sense if you just said it without the idea.
Yes, you have to have an
It takes a
idea.
pretty long time
Yeah.
and then by then people would be getting ideas and we wouldn't know if to reject it or not.
You're not going to say anything if you don't have an idea.
Because you'd have to, because you have to have an idea, which would be hard to know to other people on their team.
One really good piece of advice somebody gave me a long time ago. I think I was probably in maybe 4th or 5th grade. Was what?
Like me, I'm in 4th grade.
Yeah. It was a long time ago. Was never go beyond like 2 ideas in an instant challenge, because you just don't have very much time. So while you might have a great idea, the most creative idea isn't always the best idea, because you just don't have enough time. Like this one was a long prep time. This was 4 minutes. I've had instant challenges where we only had a minute of prep, and you might get one of those at competition. So you can't spend 30 seconds like debating between 4 or 5 different ideas. You want to start listing your ideas out right away, and then just pick one and go with it, even if it isn't the most creative. There comes a point where you just have to go with it. Let's see, what else did I notice? It seems kind of like you're the leader. Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. You don't want to have like your job as the leader is really important, because you don't want to be bossy, but it's your job to keep everything moving along. So if 2 people have an idea about how to do something, you sometimes have to be like the final decision maker, because you just have to keep stuff moving along. For my team, I'm normally the leader, and it's really important to not be bossy or always want your idea to win. Like oftentimes during our instant challenge practices, I don't even throw out ideas. I just let other people like throw them out, and then it's your job to kind of steer the conversation the way you want it to go, so that you're making sure that stuff's getting done. Make sense? Yeah. But one thing I noticed was that not all of you really seemed to talk. Like Brendan, it seemed kind of like you were off on the side sometimes, and you didn't have a lot to say. And that's not like a bad thing. It's just when you're playing the role of leader, it's really important that you're asking everyone what they think you should be doing. You don't want to. I've talked to appraisers who told me about instant challenges where it was really clear coming in that there was one kid who was going to decide the way things were going to go, or there were 2 kids who were just going to boss everyone else around. And you guys definitely aren't a bossy team at all. I can tell it right away. But you, you're in 3rd and 4th grade, so obviously you've got a little bit of bossy. But like, it's really, you don't seem to like boss each other around all the time. But the thing is, these are the appraisers in Instant Challenge aren't going to have met you before. They say that like a person's first impression is made in like the first 30 seconds of meeting somebody. So if you guys walk in and if they like get the impression that you're bossy, that's already going to be affecting how they're going to judge you. So just make sure that when you're going through that early decision-making process, you're kind of moving the discussion around from person to person, so everyone has a chance to say what their opinion is.
It's funny, you're almost performing in your instant challenge. You are putting your best, kindest person.
Yeah.
Because that is a big deal.
My mom has been managing DI for a long time. I think she's in her 7th year of managing a team, and she has a really good saying, like for people who always want their idea to win. It's called check your ego at the door. So if you like have a high opinion of yourself, that's great. You want to have self-confidence, but don't be overconfident when you walk into that room. If there's somebody on the team who you have a disagreement with, that's fine. You can pick it up after Instant Challenge happens. But Instant Challenge is 10 minutes out of your life. So even if you don't like each other, at least pretend like you like each other for those 10 minutes. I
You
want
guys
to
are already a step ahead, because from what I can tell, you
Yeah,
guys actually like each
You
other.
do like each
Yeah.
other. which
Just have a
is
hard
really
time
good.
settling on an idea, so you're in good shape.
I've been on a couple of bad teams. When I was in back when I was in fourth grade, we had a team. It was me and my next door neighbor. We were both fourth graders and we were friends. And then there were 5 fifth grade girls, and they were all best friends with each other. And they were not going to settle for anyone else's idea on anything. So my friend and I hated being on that team because we never had a chance in making any decision, because the 5 fifth grade girls would all decide that they wanted to do things their way. So, like, teams don't always have really good dynamics for your friends, but at the end of that year, we decided, you know what, forget it. We're gonna pretend to be like each other during Instant Challenge, and we had this horrible team that didn't like each other, and we got first place in Instant Challenge that year. Yeah. So even like, at least pretend like you like each other. It doesn't seem to be a problem with you guys, but if you have to, at least pretend to. Apart from that, so that's just kind of my 2 cents. I thought you guys did very well with that one, and the judges are not going to be judging you anywhere near as hard as they're going to judge like my team, because we're in high school. We've been doing this for a while, but especially for a third grade team, I thought you guys you've come a long way. Yeah, definitely. You guys are what, challenge C?
We're the fairy tales. I don't know what the.
Is it
It's fine arts.
fine? Yeah, that's challenge C. Yeah. So
So I thought, if you have more to say, we can. Otherwise, I grabbed another performance-based instant challenge for them to
just
do.
go ahead.
Okay.